Hi guys, Q64 here, and today I'm going to share with you guys my personal top 10 Steelbook releases for the year 2024. As we approach the end of the year, I thought it'd be cool to do a best of list, and for this one, we're going to be talking about Steelbooks. Now, I did a loose count of how many Steelbooks were released in North America in 2024, and I came up with 235 Steelbooks, so that's quite a few. I picked up 20. So there's obviously a lot out there that I did not pick up for various reasons. Either I didn't want it, I didn't want to pay for it, I chose some things over other things, it wasn't available, whatever the case. There's lots of Steelbooks out there that I didn't pick up. So if something is your favorite that I don't talk about here, comment and let me know which one your personal favorite ones. But I'm going to go with what I actually picked up. And this list is going to be primarily based on the packaging alone. I'm trying not to include the movie itself, the quality of the 4K transfer. I'm talking about a 4K or Blu-ray, whatever the case may be. I just want to focus on the actual design of the Steelbook. Now, I think some of my bias creeped in as far as which movies I liked more than others on ranking this. But for the most part, this is based on the packaging alone. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Coming in at number 10 is Stardust. This one released in September, and the movie released back in 2007. I watched it back in 2007 when it released, and I hadn't really thought about the movie much at all until this 4K Steelbook was announced. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. It wasn't that I disliked it. It was just, I guess it just didn't stick with me at all, and I just completely forgot about it. But then the Steelbook was announced, and there's actually two Steelbooks of Stardust that released. There was this one, and then there was a Walmart exclusive Steelbook with a slightly different design. I think the regular Steelbook, this one, was the better of those designs. And I really do like the design of this Steelbook. I really like the framing here around the edges. I like the geometric design around this city on the mountain. The title also fits great. A lot of times with Steelbooks, I like the title being removed and just having a flat image, but the title fits very well here and is framed really nicely. The look of this gives me never-ending story, 80s fantasy movie vibes, which is a great thing. My only critique I would have about this is that I do wish that the blue was a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, and that would make the names and the patterns pop a little bit more. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with this design. The back has the ship with the blimp, which is pretty cool, but I definitely prefer the front over the back. But this one is coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Rambo First Blood 4K. This one released in April. Now, this Steelbook was actually released originally as part of the Rambo Steelbook set. That thing sold out very fast. I was not able to get it. That one came out in 2020. So that one sells pretty high on the secondary market. But I was really happy that they decided to do an individual release for this movie so that I could pick it up, because again, I'm not paying for the exorbitant prices on the secondary market. They also released Rambo Last Blood Steelbook as well. Those were the two that they decided to release individually. I prefer First Blood. I think First Blood by far is the best Rambo movie. I don't even think it's close. And I didn't really care for the fifth one, so I didn't pick that one up. But this Steelbook overall is pretty nice. I like the black and the red. It has a removable slip, which is nice. And it's a nice slip too. It's not cardboard. It is plastic. You got the nice clean image there with Rambo in the woods. And then on the back, oh man, I can't remember what his name. The sheriff, the bad guy, the antagonist of the story, the sheriff is there in the back in the woods. And again, this kind of does the clean image I was just talking about with Stardust, where you actually have the image on the slip and then you remove it to get the clean image. So a really nice release. I'm really happy to pick this one up. And I like having the cases on these Steelbooks. It prevents it from scratches when stuff's sitting on the shelf. And the 4K itself is a nice picture upgrade over the Blu-ray. I know it's really just based on the packaging for this list, but I just wanted to comment on that. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Coming in at number 8, we've got Andor. This one released in April. Now, I did not expect this to be on my list. I did not watch it when it was on Disney Plus. I really had no interest in it. I'm not a fan of what Disney has done. Like 95% of what they've done with Star Wars, I'm not a fan of. But a lot of positive feedback about this show got me to go ahead and buy it and give it a chance. I got it for a buy two, get one deal, so I paid like about $20, I think, for it, which is a good deal. And I was really happy. Andor was a very pleasant surprise, probably the best thing Disney Star Wars has ever made, in my opinion. But again, I'm primarily trying to focus on the design here. So the artist who did all of these Disney Plus series Steelbooks, they just released the third wave here in December, is Attila Zarka. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And he knocks it out of the park every single time. He really does elevate the shows. Most of the Disney Plus shows, I think, are range from mediocre to terrible. But his art really does elevate these shows. Now, the color palette for Andor is a little bit dull, but that kind of matches the style and tone of the show. It just has Andor there on the front with the Rebel emblem there. And then on the back, you've got Andor riding one of the speeder bikes, which really does give me Shadows of the Empire vibes with the swoop bike gang. It's a really nice looking steelbook, and this was the first time I was able to watch the show. And so, again, I guess some of my bias did creep in, but I do really like his art, and it's going to show up again here on the list. But let's go ahead and move on to number 7. So coming in at number 7, we've got the Terminator 4K Steelbook. This one released in November last month. Now, I don't think any of these Steelbooks actually made it into the wild. At least I never saw them. The pre-order sold out a month or more ahead of the release. Luckily, I did pre-order this one when it came out. I know there was some negative feedback about the design. I don't really get that. I really like it. I like the way the building runs up the spine into the Terminator skull. The black and orange pops off against the off-white color there.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring.
It's got a nice matte finish. It's not a gloss. In general, I prefer matte steelbooks because it prevents from smudges. It doesn't have the same shine as the gloss finish does, but I just like the matte because of the lack of smudges. So I really like that. The back, you've got the Terminator when he first goes back in time. I just really think this steelbook looks really cool, and I do think it looks better than the Terminator 2 steelbook. Well, this one has the case on it. It's got a plastic protector, but if you compare these two here, I actually prefer Terminator 1 over Terminator 2 steelbook, although the back of Terminator 2 looks pretty sweet as well. So I don't know. Overall, I think I probably have to lean towards this one, but I do like both of the designs. But anyway, Terminator 4K definitely was going to make my list, and it's coming in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is another Disney Plus release, which was Hawkeye. This one released in December this month. Again, Attila Zarka knocks it out of the park, and his art just reminds me of going and walking through the aisles at Blockbuster and having the art from the VHS pop out and draw you into checking out a movie that you don't know anything about, because the art was always better than whatever the movie was. And while I do like Hawkeye, and Hawkeye is by far, I think, the best of the Disney Plus shows. That's my opinion. I know I'm in the minority, I think, on that. But I really do like the design here. I really do like the purple. I like Hawkeye here on the front with his new protege, Kate Bishop, who's one of the few new characters I think that actually was entertaining and a cool character to follow, at least in the show. She was fun. Again, I love the color choices. I love the Christmas lights surrounding them, showcasing the Christmas element of the show. They even put the dog there on the front to try and give some of the more, to showcase some of the more lighthearted moments of the show. The back is great as well. The back looks just as good, if not better, than the front, with them looking down on the city with the lights. I just really love the look of this steelbook. I think this was just great. A lot of times the back of the steelbooks can get lazy with their designs because they put most of their effort on the front, but both the back and the front look great for this one. I'm very comfortable putting this one at number 6. A great design steelbook. Coming in at number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy, the Mondo steelbook here, which released in April. Walmart did release 4 MCU Mondo covers. There was the Avengers, which I also picked up, Doctor Strange, which I wasn't really a fan of, and Black Panther, which I did think looked pretty cool. But Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite MCU movies, and I really like Mondo. But with the Funko typical buyout. I figured, oh, well, that'll be it. I'm not going to get any more Mondo Steelbooks, and I don't buy stuff on the secondary market on eBay. So this re-release gave me an opportunity to buy something that I was never going to get otherwise. And I do really like the design. Again, Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite MCU movies. I love that it has the slip there with the plastic covering that gives it the shine and the glitter effects there. I just really like the design of this. I love the colors. They really pop a lot. You got the whole team there. The title works really well. The back is pretty boring, but the front is how I would display it anyway. This is kind of what I was talking about when I talk about a lot of times the back of Steelbooks designs can get kind of lazy, but the front is so good that I had to drive this one way up on the list. I love the slip for it, and yeah, just a great release. I'm glad that they re-released this one, so I was able to pick it up. Coming in at number 4 is the Fall Guy, which released back in July. Now, I love the design of the Steelbook. It really captures the era this movie is trying to capture with a focus on stuntman. It's set in modern times, but the design of this really does give you the old Hollywood stuntman, feel to it. It looks like this would match up really well with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's movie, even though this is, again, it's set in modern times. I really like the white background. There's not a lot of Steelbooks that do that and that do that well. Because of the white Steelbook, it makes everything else pop, even with its low saturation. Just a really, really awesome design. It's been up on my wall, my Steelbook wall with the magnets since I picked it up. The movie itself was okay. I did enjoy it. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but I definitely don't regret picking it up. It's something I will revisit in the future. But overall, just a great design there. On the back, you kind of got a simple back there with just the Fall Guy falling. But overall, the front really sells it, and this is what I really loved about it. And it's got a nice matte finish, which, again, my preference is generally matte finishes. So this one was one of my favorite designs this year. Coming in at number 3 is Galaxy Quest, the 4K Steelbook, which just released this month in December. And I've done multiple videos talking about this. I talked about the options that were available with this release, and I did my favorite moments of Galaxy Quest, my top 20 moments, which I'll link at the end of this. Needless to say, I'm a big Galaxy Quest fan, and this Steelbook I really did love. This was also a first time coming to 4K, and it was reasonably priced at $25, which is awesome. It's a great deal. $25 for this, the same price as the basic slipcover, and far better than some of the other Steelbooks that have released here in 2024 that they've been asking $60+ for. I'm looking at you, Disney. You are scalping customers with your $60+ plus Steelbook releases, and I'm not one who's going to back them. But $25 is a great deal, so definitely pick up Galaxy Quest if you haven't. It has this really nice slipcover with the nice embossing. In general, as I said, I do like the slipcovers for Steelbooks because they protect them from scratches and stuff and smudges when they're sitting on the shelves and you're pulling them off and on. Of course, I pull them out whenever I'm using them and displaying them up with the magnets. I did have to mark it down a little bit. This might have made it into my 2 or 1 spot. The slipcover is just cardboard. If this was plastic, I definitely probably would have moved it up to 2 or 1 for me, but needless to say, this is a great looking Steelbook. This Steelbook uses the original movie theater art, which I have an original movie poster over there, which I talked about when I did my room tour video last month. I just really love this design. I think it really captures the essence of the movie, the TV floating in space. You've got the characters there, the ship shooting out of the TV. Some really good symbolism there for the movie, and I just think it captures the essence of the movie. I really do like the design of that. I'm glad this is what they went with for this 25th anniversary release of the movie. The back looks really cool as well. I always love it, again, when you can flip it around and you can display it from either the back or the front. That moves it up on my list anyway. So that way you can have different options on how you want to display it. Regardless, I'm primarily going to display it from the front, but I do like having the option for the back. You've got all the crew here, and just Galaxy Quest is one of my favorite movies, and that obviously helps move it up. Again, I tried not to let my bias for what movies I liked affect the ranking here, and tried to focus just on the packaging. But again, if this was a plastic slip, I think this might have taken the number 1 spot, but still a great release that I'm very thrilled and happy to have received, even if it was a week late Thanks, Amazon. Coming in at number 2 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This one released back in August. Again, just like all the other Steelbooks designs, I really love this one. This cover art was actually from one of the posters. The artist's name is Dylan Cole. And I really like the design that worked here on the Steelbook with this rust around the edges. I really like the character layout. I love the art not just on the front, but I also like the art on the back as well. Which again, as you can see, kind of a mixed bag on some of the stuff here in my top 10 list, but the back and the front are both great. Again, just giving the option to display it from either way. I also love that the Steelbook itself left the title off, as I mentioned before. One of the things I love about Steelbooks is that you get a lot of these clean designs without the titles, and I just think it looks a lot more clean as a result, and move this one way up on my list. Again, I just love the rust coloring that wraps all the way around that. It definitely fits the style of the movie as well. A great movie and a great design Steelbook that almost took my number 1 spot. But let's go ahead and get on to number 1. Coming in at number 1 is the 4:30 movie, which released back in November.
Who?
Yeah, I know what you guys are asking. What is that? Who is that? What even is that? Well, this is the newest movie from Kevin Smith. The movie itself is okay. It's far better than Clerks 3, which I absolutely hated. And I am a big fan of Kevin Smith's earlier stuff with Mallrats and all of that. I'd give this movie like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's worth a watch for sure, especially if you like Kevin Smith movies, but it's not going to blow you away. But what I do like about this and why this is coming in at number 1 is because I think this design is personally the best design of the year. You may be asking, really? That is, how is that one number 1? Okay, well, I'm going to get into it here in a second. The outside slip design is great in and of itself. It's got the 80s retro design. This is obviously a movie that takes place in the 80s. It accurately captures the movie. You've got the film reels here. There's the Be Conry wine sign on it. But here's what really sells this one outside of just having a good design. Again, it's got the plastic slip, and then as you take it off, you get the VHS tape design. Now, I've personally never seen this before. I think The Ring also did this year, but I don't pick that one up, so I'm not exactly sure how good that looks, but I think they went with a VHS tape for that Steelbook release. I thought this was awesome. It was a pleasant surprise because when I pre-ordered this one online, which was an Amazon exclusive Steelbook, I only saw the front. I didn't realize that it had a VHS tape Steelbook design. I just assumed that this was the Steelbook, which I was happy to go ahead and pre-order because I thought this itself looked like a pretty cool design. And this was a nice bonus when it arrived in the mail and I opened it up and saw this VHS design. Now, even the back of the Steelbook has the reels here, and the reels are indented slightly, which adds to the VHS feel. I just think this is a really cool design. It's something that I'd like to maybe see some other movies replicate. Like I can see a whole series of Amazon exclusive VHS designs for, movies from the 80s, I think would be cool. Like maybe if you did this with like Die Hard or Predator, Gremlins, there's all types of 80s movies. The Goonies you could do it with. Just a bunch of 80s Amazon exclusive VHS Steelbooks I think would be great. But this was a very pleasant surprise. I really just love it. And the fact that this was an Amazon exclusive Steelbook is just surprising to me. This year we did get quite a few Amazon exclusive Steelbooks, getting more into the game. Obviously, Walmart blew it out of the park this year with their Steelbook exclusives, with Best Buy not, doing physical media anymore. But overall, this one ended up being in my number 1 spot just based on the design alone. Did you guys pick this one up, and what did you guys think about it? Or was this like the first time you saw this release? I haven't really heard too many people talking about this one, but I think it's the best Steelbook release of the year, at least out of what I picked up. But down the road, I may pick up some more Steelbooks and my list may change or my opinion may change. But those are my top 10 Steelbooks for the year 2024. But as I said at the beginning of the video, what was your guys' favorite Steelbook releases? Did some of the releases I talked about here make your top 10, or were there ones that you guys picked up that I probably didn't that are on your top 10 Steelbooks? Comment and let me know. I'm always interested to see what you guys have to say. So as 2024 comes to an end, we got a lot of new things and things I'm trying out here on the channel. The new release walls will continue. I'll be back in January talking about physical media for that. But I'll try and do some more best of the year lists here coming up. We'll see how it goes. But again, I just want to thank everybody for sticking around on this video. Thank you, subscribers. All of you are awesome. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geek264, and I'll always tell you the truth.